where did you find the balance between the brutality aspects of your character and the caring aspects of him? I mean, it's very easy to identify with him, even though his past is very unique and very hard. So how did you find the balance between?
Well, all of the characters in this script seem to be something else at the beginning, you know. They seem to be very easily read. But through the course of the tale, they flower, you know, and that's the journey that the audience goes on. And it's similar to the journey that we as individuals went on in terms of the discovery of the character. Personally, for me, I saw Bud White as an immoral man when I first read the script, you know, somebody who abuses authority for his own ends. But upon further examination in terms of the reality of what he does, you know, I saw him as a man ahead of his time. You know, it's 1953 and he's concerned with something that nobody else is concerned with at that time, and that's domestic abuse. Well, it's all on the page, you know, it's in the script, and it was a very well realized script. And when I read the book afterwards, I couldn't believe that Curtis Hanson and Brian Helgeland had actually been able to pull a script out. It's so complicated and convoluted and full of perverted and polluted people that, you know, getting a script from it was a massive and mammoth task, but they did a very good job. So it's basically on the page. If there's scenes to play on the page, then, you know, that's what's attractive in terms of performance. And for a young Australian actor to get to do lines like, you know, what do I get if I give you your balls back, you wop cocksucker? It's pretty cool, you know. Right. Well, the first film that got some sort of international attention was actually a movie called Proof, which was about a blind photographer, directed by Jocelyn Moorhouse, who has a film coming out against LA Confidential this week, actually. It's called 1,000 Acres. Just a little plug. I'll get some money for that later. Romper Stomper in Australia was a very important film. You know, it was a big commercial hit, and what it did was it put racism on the breakfast table. It made people examine their own bigotries, and I think culturally it was a very important moment for Australia. It kind of, in a way, it kind of happens, but it only happens because you position yourself for it. You know, it's preparation meets opportunity. That's the situation. As a young actor, my aim was, if anything, you know, maybe to do Arthur Miller at the Sydney Opera House. You know, that was as high as I was looking. And then, while I was in the middle of pursuing that, a director called George Ogilvy, who co-directed Mad Max 3 with George Miller, he wanted me to do a movie, which I was very surprised at. But since doing that film at the age of 25, I've done 18 feature films, and I'm 33 now. And it was a very calming kind of moment because I found my medium. You know, I think working in film is the most suitable for me as a performer. Well, there was a lot of different aspects to the rehearsal period. It was a very, very long 2-month period of steeping ourselves in the characters. And I did see a lot of old films, but there's only a certain amount you can get out of that because we're looking for a realism that doesn't necessarily exist in noir films as such from the period, because you've got to take into account that these are movies, you know. But there's a lot of interesting films from the period. Don Siegel's Private Hell 36, Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, and the Bogart film In a Lonely Place are 3 of my favorite films from that period. Well, I think it's the first woman that he's met that actually can see through his exterior to what is actually going on. I think she says something like that in the film, that she sees the goodness that Bud can't help but show, you know. And she's the first person that actually sees him for more than what his projected image is, you know. But I think the whole film is about that. The whole film is about image and reality.